Hi there, I'm with Jez here at the moment and Reenactment Group, First World War. Do you want to tell me a bit about the group?
Yeah, the First World War is a war that's sort of like almost forgotten at the moment, people concentrating on World War II, which we do still get involved with as well. But we've decided that we wanted to recreate a special unit called the Matlock Pals, because all of us met at Peak Rail in Matlock. The decision was made that each individual would portray a family member that fought in the Great War.
Oh, so you've got some connection with now.
So unlike a lot of groups that are doing, let's say, a generic unit, you'll find that the Matlock Pals will have different cap badges, different style uniforms, different cloth patches on, because we're portraying a particular time during the war where our forefather either fought or died.
So it keeps that memory alive of
Yeah, it's a very personal thing that we're doing. I decided to do it, and a few other guys said they'd like the idea because they also had a lot of information on their forefathers. Mr. Price over there, one of his great uncles fought in Gallipoli. Unfortunately was killed, but he's visited the area where he was killed and the road that he was building at Gallipoli as well. Myself and my wife have travelled over to France. This uniform represents my grandfather as he was shot and wounded on the Somme on the 3rd of August 1916, just outside a place called Poitiers, not far from Albert, which my wife was able to pinpoint virtually a trench called Butterworth Trench, where we knew he was shot.
Okay,
so a personal thing.
So what we're looking for is the connection between the living history now and the past, and keeping that memory alive of that.
Yes, that's right. It was quite, as we know, a bloody war. I think there was around about 330,000 killed in World War II. In World War I, it was getting on more for 1 million, that sort of mark or thereabouts. So it was a lot more of a bloody conflict. Not all spent in trenches, like people think. 1914 and into 15, it was a mobile war. It developed into a trench warfare around about the middle of 1915, and then by 16, you know all about the trenches, which we can do as well. We have our own trench system that we can photograph and use. But to come to shows, multi-period shows like this, gives us a good, this is our very first one that we've ever done. So luckily we're with the Manchester Pals that can give us quite a lot of advice.
Yeah, so I saw you doing some drill, some bayonet practice, and also gas attack.
Yeah,
which
that's it, yeah.
Obviously was there was a lot of it in the First World War.
Yeah, a lot of mustard gas was used in the First World War. We were going to bring a sample of what it would smell like. It was like mown grass and garlic to pass around the public. Unfortunately, didn't have a lot of time for that. So what we're doing is recreating that yellow smoke. Mustard gas didn't have any visual to it at all. You couldn't see it. But obviously for the public, it gives you that yellow feeling of it is a gas coming towards you, and we react accordingly. Some of us had what we call PH hoods, which was the first thing that the British Army issued out to protect against gas, obviously, and then developed into the respirators that you saw some of the blokes using with the tin helmets on.
So this is your first event as a group?
This is our first event in a group. We've been going for about 3 months.
So next year will be a first full year of lots of activities, lots of displays and shows throughout the UK?
Yeah, we shall plan some shows to come to. We do quite a lot of our own private things as well. Like I say, we have got our own trench system, which we hopefully will plan maybe this year or early next year to stay in for at least 48 hours straight through and experience what it was like to actually
just give you a sample of that.
Because a lot of the fighting was done either at dawn or dusk when the light was dim. So if we can actually stand to, as they would call it, ready at dusk and at dawn, with the two main periods that the soldiers were ready for an attack. In the night time there would be trench raids, we were recreating those own for our own benefit.
Oh, fantastic.
And then obviously in the daytime it was when they had more of a rest and they just basically got artillery shells.
That'll be an experience then, won't it?
Well, it will, yeah. That's what we were trying to do, is recreate what it was like. The trenches that we've made are quite authentic, they're permanent. Lots of wriggly tin, firing steps, places to sleep and places to go over the top as well.
That's great. Well, you have a good rest of the event and nice meeting you.
And you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your help. Bye.